Hey y'all. So to shore out this week, still looking at John chapter 8. So Jesus is really in this discussion, this probably an argument that I'm sure that the Jews are now offended because Jesus is, questioning or making them question the legitimacy or who their father is, who they follow. And it's really hard for them to understand. And so, again, with the Israelite people at this time, Jesus is talking about the Father who has sent me, and they're talking about the only father they know is Abraham, the father of faith. And so they say in verse 39, Abraham is our father. And Jesus said, if you were truly Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham and follow his example. Well, Abraham is called the father of faith because it says he believed God and it was counted unto him as righteousness. Romans 4 tells us that. Let's see. Romans 4:22. Let's see. You can back up. Romans 4:20. No unbelief or distrust made him waver, doubtingly questioned concerning the promise of God, but he grew strong and was empowered by faith as he gave praise and glory to God, fully satisfied and assured that God was able and mighty to keep his word and to do what he had promised. That is why his faith was credited to him as righteousness. And so he says that these words were not written for him alone, but for our sakes too. Righteousness and standing acceptable to God will be granted and credited to us also who believe in, trust in, adhere to, and rely on God who raised Jesus from the dead. So it's a different concept here for the Jews to rely on God the Father because they've never had access to God as a father. So we, on this side of the cross, because of Jesus, have been taught God as Father because he was Jesus' Father, and we have been made joint heirs with Jesus. So if we go to Romans 8:15, kind of all over the place, aren't we, guys? Romans 8:15, let's see. For the spirit which you have now received is not a spirit of slavery to put you once more in bondage to fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption, the spirit producing sonship, in the bliss of which we cry, Abba, Abba, Father. So see, what Israel did not know and did not have access to, we have access to. The Spirit of God, the Spirit which we have received, does not bind us to slavery, is not a spirit of slavery, but we've received the spirit of adoption. This is in Romans chapter 8, in verse 11, it says, and if the Spirit whom raised Jesus up from the dead dwells in you, then he who raised up Christ from the dead will also restore life to your mortal bodies through his Spirit who dwells in you. So it's the same Spirit that made Jesus the Son of God that dwells in us, also allowing us to be sons and daughters of God. And we have one more thing that we're going to tie into this, probably more than that by the time next week gets here, but we will go into that next week, and I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.